I'll say something, but hopefully it can be like aired, or it's not something that we can we cannot show over here. So first of all, chemistry is very straightforward, right? In
Yeah.
chemistry, there are more oxidative chemical compounds. There are more reductive uh, compounds in nature. And the chemical reactions is all about the more oxidative compound will oxidize the more reductive compound. Anyway, that's a boring chemistry side, right?
Oh, that's good.
But for the sensory side, it's so interesting in terms of nowadays people talk about the reductive aromas, which are associated with the reductive chemical compounds in wine. Now, some of those aromas, some people perceive it as very stinky. So people say it's a faulty wine because it's too reductive. But for certain wines, people say like certain white burgundies or certain champagne styles or certain Syrah, people say, oh,
Yeah.
it's a bit reductive, it's interesting, it's complex. And I found it interesting because that shows you how we evolved in nature and how we were programmed as human beings or other sorts of other animals or plants even, that we do need certain compounds,
Yeah.
right? But certain compounds in high concentrations, it can be toxic. That's why we perceive too so-called too much reductive notes as negative. But
Okay.
we do need a little bit of the reductiveness. And why is that? For example, one bigger group of reductive compounds are sulfides, the sulfur-containing compounds, right?
Yeah.
Certain sulfur-containing compounds, when it's very concentrated, it can poison you. But we also need them because certain reductive compounds, we is a kind of like a messenger in between, like conducting cell to cell, communications.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's even pheromones that contain either sulfur or nitrogen containing compounds. Again, those in high concentrations, people may perceive it as very stinky, but
Yeah.
some people may not admit their so-called fetish of smelling the tiny bit of those kind of compounds because we need
Yeah.
them. So I think it's all about we need all sorts of things in our life to help us evolve and grow as this is how our body program, but it
Yeah.
depends on the concentration. It depends on like how the whole chemical matrix put together.